When hinges creak in doorless chambers and strained adversing cells echo through the halls, whenever candlelights flicker, when the air is deathly still, that is the time those are peasants practicing their ghoulish delight. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Close your eyes and don't try to hide. Shrouded in a dark disguise. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
All right.
What's happening, everybody?
And here we are, live, ready to go. I was so ready. I was not rushing around trying to find things.
Me trying to fix this piece of shit computer.
We're both on the ball tonight. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I'm running on the top of the line Walmart HP laptop special from like 4 or 5 years ago. So
someday work is gonna be like, stop using your laptop for dumb shit, and I'm gonna be like, sorry.
And then you're gonna be on the $300 Walmart special.
I have a backup laptop, but I don't know if it's. I don't know what kind of shape it's in.
I burned through them. I probably could. If I would take the money that I burned through laptops, I could probably buy a good laptop. Because I'll get one, the Walmart special. I'd use it for work. The simple stuff.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of quits working. Because it gets old. And then I just chuck it in the closet and buy another one.
You chuck it in the closet?
Yeah.
Ayo. All right.
We are here to discuss some Night of the Creeps.
Yeah, creeping on, creeping on,
Yeah, this is Chesley's favorite movie.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how she feels about it. She says it's way better than Dr. Giggles, though.
She's wrong. I mean, she's not wrong. She's just uninformed. How about that?
Hey, she's just a baby.
Let me get this cracked open here. Ready?
Ambient. Probably that would taste a whole lot better if it was that. What was it, like slasher energy drink?
I quit following them. I finally just gave up. I was like, this isn't fun anymore. I'm not enjoying harassing them anymore.
If you know one thing about Chuck, he'll put the salt in the wound and turn the knife.
I wonder if they. So for anyone watching, we have 3 people here. Colin, what's up, buddy? Slasher Energy Drink has quite the Instagram presence. Like, they love their posts, and we're gonna have a new flavor soon. And it's like, good luck trying their existing flavors because they seem to always be sold out. Even when they have online contests where you will win like a 6-pack or something. I don't remember what it was. And back in December, I won. And I was so excited. I was like, I never win anything. This is cool. I can't wait to try it, blah, blah, blah. They never sent that shit. And I checked in with them a few times. And it was always like, oh, this happened. We'll get it out to you this week. This happened. We'll get it out to you this week. We'll send it Monday. And then the last time was, well, we sent it this past Monday. No, you didn't, fuckers. So I have given up.
Maybe the people at your old address is sampling some slasher energy because they sent it to the wrong place.
Don't give them any tips on
what to lie
excuses. Because I know damn well they have my new address. Those B-turds. See if we can get
all right, everybody. People. We're doing this thing. we're talking about some Night of the Creeps. This is in my top 10 of movies that I quite enjoy. I've seen this movie a good handful of times. Of course, it stars, the OG Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins, what a guy.
He's a handsome fella.
He is. Okay, let's start with a little Tom Atkins history, because now I'm curious about this gentleman here. You've met Tom Atkins, right? Because he signed your Scream Factory piece.
Yeah.
Mm.
I met him. I met him back in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I met him last year, I think year before, and he was super nice. Like it was, I met him at Horror Hound, and I had him sign my Creep Show. Hey, what's up, Berkowitz? I had him sign my Creep Show poster, and he played the dad. And he didn't really have any good lines, so I was like, "Can you write I slapped Joe Hill?" And he was like, "Ooh, that's a good one." And he was so excited because it was something new. He's like, "I've never written that before." And I really want to get Joe King to sign it now and write "I'm Joe King" like under it, like I'm joking.
Yeah.
But we'll see if it happens.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any signings he's done. He like when he brings out a new book, sometimes he'll do one. I was very lucky to meet him back whenever he brought out his short story book, Strange Weather.
Mm.
He did a small little tour through my area and happened in Charleston, West Virginia. And that's the same weekend. The Friday I met R.L. Stein, and then that Saturday I met Joe Hill.
It seems like he does a lot of book sign. Like he signs a lot of books. I should say that because I've managed to get signed books from him, but I haven't gotten to meet him yet. And I have a Creep Show poster signed by him, and it sucks because it's not on the one that I have.
He's a super awesome guy, like super friendly, nice guy. I told the story about working on Creep Show and the day that Tom Savini did his makeup for the slap, the bruise that's on his face. And he talks about going through the McDonald's drive-thru that night because he was hungry. It was late. So, Big Daddy King was taking him through the drive-thru, and he's just jumping around, fussing about how he wants his nuggies. And he has Stephen King hollering at him, like, calm down, and he has this giant bruise makeup across his face. So I guess everybody thinks that at that McDonald's thought Stephen King abuses his son.
So this is funny. I looked up Tom Atkins because I wanted to see other things that he's done. And his IMDb profile here: handsome, rugged, versatile, and charismatic. He didn't write that.
Yeah.
He's from Pittsburgh. Let's see. City on a Hill, Trick, Encounter, Judy's Dead, Apocalypse. Where's Man, he's been in some poopers. My Bloody Valentine, 2009.
Yeah.
Xena Warrior Princess, Walker Texas Ranger. I feel like everybody's been in Walker Texas Ranger. Maniac Cop. Who else? Who was the main star in Maniac Cop?
In the first one, it was Bruce Campbell.
Okay. Remember we talked about that at one point. Night of the Creeps. Man, he really hasn't been anything big. He's just been in a lot. Halloween 3, the worst of the franchise. Escape from New York. Good. Interesting.
Do you think? Wait, was that a hot take of like Halloween 3 being the worst?
So I'll joke about it being the worst, but I don't think that's fair because I think it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I just think it was unfair that it was tied to the Halloween franchise.
Yeah, if
I get what they were doing.
If they pull Halloween from the title and just call it Season of the Witch, that's a good movie.
Yeah. But I don't like the weird bug shit.
Yeah, you just don't like bugs.
Nah.
That's going to be your nightmare. You're going to wake up and your body's going to be covered in different bugs.
Yeah, oh, God. Yeah.
Like the blanket's going to be moving. You think it's Cujo underneath there. He's going to flip it back and it's just going to be like millipedes and spiders and hissing cockroaches.
See, that's fucked up.
Just think about that when you're going to sleep tonight.
Yeah. Mm.
But
Go ahead. Creepy crawl is hand.
we had Night of the Creeps. This banger from 1986. Now this is the director's first go at directing a movie. I think it's Fred
Decker.
Fred Decker. And the following year, he brought us Monster Squad.
Yep. Love that movie.
Tom Atkins as Detective Ray Cameron, which I have here. I brought these out. If I have an autograph from the movie, we're going to bring it out. So I have Thrill Me in like a puke green color. I have the camera light I'm worried about.
Nah, you're fine.
It's going to leave a glare. We have Jason Lively as Chris Romero. We have Jill Withlow as Cynthia Cronenberg, which guess what? Both of us got.
Yep, the good one too.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. I was very excited whenever I opened it and saw it. And then we have Steve Marshall as JC. Now JC stands for James Carpenter Hooper. Now the funny thing is, all the main characters are named after horror and sci-fi directors. So
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, we have Chris Romero, George Romero, James Carpenter Hooper, and that's a combination of John Carpenter and Toby Hooper, Cynthia Cronenberg, David Cronenberg, Ray Cameron, James Cameron. And then we have some like side people like Detective Landis as John Landis. And then Sergeant Raimi, Sam Raimi. We have Mr. Miner as Steve Miner. So that's the main ones I got.
I thought that was really cool. I when I read that, I was really, I had a feeling you'd call it out. I thought that was a really neat way to kind of just give that nod of respect to the other directors, especially with this being Decker's first.
And the other, big one is the name of the college. It's Corman University.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So Corman University is, for the famous director, Corman.
Huh. What did who's Corman? I don't know that one.
Oh, he did Q and stuff like that.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I'm going to blank on his first name.
Corman.
I'm sure somebody's going to.
Corman. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. Noah Corman? That's all right. What? See, what was?
No, I'm wrong. He may have not done. Pretty sure he did Q the Winged Serpent. Oh man, now we'll look like an idiot. More so than I already did.
And we're live too, man.
Yeah.
Q the Winged Serpent. When you said that, I was like CUE. Okay, I can't find shit about that director, but I bet he's a great guy.
Roger Corman. I'm an idiot.
Roger Corman.
Yeah.
There he is. Born in 1926. He old.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got stuff from House of Usher. He did stuff.
Dude.
The Mask of the Red Death.
I love the remix to Ignition.
He broke out the banger Sharktopus. So
Sharktopus. Okay. That's Death Race 2000. I Eat My Dust. Huh. Okay. Boxcar Bertha. Interesting.
Yeah, well,
they can't all be winners. Boxcar Bertha, though.
So we got those. And then we have we went through all the ones I have written down at least. And then we did the university. So I had that written down.
Yeah, so and I thought it was interesting. I meant to look at my bookshelf. I have a book by someone named Decker, but I don't know if it was Fred Decker or not. So I'm curious if he did any writing after later on in his career.
Well, when we talked about him doing Monster Squad right after, in the bathroom, when JC is sitting on the pooper, and you see all the graffiti on the walls, there is one that talks
Stripe
about
rules.
Yeah. So who was it? I think it was the costume designer. Her future husband is in that band.
Oh,
She wanted
really?
that on the wall. Yeah.
I figured there was something there.
Yeah, they weren't married yet, but she put that in there. But Go Monster Squad was written somewhere in the graffiti.
I was looking because I feel like that's a perfect place to hide Easter eggs, right?
Yeah.
So I was really hoping there'd be something good in there. The only thing that really jumped out to me was Stryker, though. And if you don't know, Stryker is a hair metal band that praises the Lord. They kick ass for the Lord.
You're gonna have to do it with a little bit more.
They kick ass for the Lord.
There you go.
How's that?
Yeah.
CSR Collectibles, what is up? How are you doing?
What's going on? Hope you had a good time down in where are they at? Which fan expo were they at? I
think it was in Florida. Wrapped up. They had their private signings with there was 4 that just closed. It was Dick Warlock, Tommy Lee Wallace, one of the actresses from Megan, I believe. I think there was a 4th one too. So keep an eye out because I don't know, obviously, but I feel like Spookala, there it is. I feel like there's gonna be more signings, most likely with somebody that looks like this at some point. They released like the card that had the faces.
Chesley wanted to make sure I mentioned this because she was playing. We watched it before together. I've shown it to her, and then I was watching it again to kind of refresh myself. And she was sitting there playing the Switch, and I had been doing all the research for this, and she was just laying there. I said, "You know what?" I was like, "This is Jill Whitlow's first nude scene." Whenever she was changing right at the beginning, I was like, "Booby!"
That called out to me too. That's the first. Those are the first boobies that we've had in one of our movies, I think.
Oh wow, I think so.
Because close in Arachnophobia, but no cigar. Jill Whitlow, went on to do. I didn't look her up when we got that box, but she went on to do Thunder Run. Porky's, Mask, Weird Science. Mask is a fantastic movie. I believe it also stars Cher, which everyone loves Cher, and Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott, man.
That man, he's a handsome fellow too.
He really is. And I brought the one thing with this movie, there was a very big Greek tie-in. So that's what I was looking for, was to show you something, Chuck. I brought this. This is my fraternity composite.
That's right, you went to college.
This is my fraternity composite from the good old days of Marietta College when I was a member of the Alpha Tau Omega fraternity. We did not mess with dead bodies. We didn't really haze all that much. It was very frowned upon. And if you look right there,
it's super illegal now.
Oh, dude. Even the stuff that we did that was just plain fun, they would call hazing at this point.
Well, did you form any brotherhoods that have lasted?
Yeah, I still talk to my big, the person who's supposed to kind of watch over you, mentor you, Tyson. I still talk to him quite a bit. Mickey lives up the road from me. What?
That phrasing that's used a lot in. You ever watch that movie Role Models?
Yes,
with Paul Rudd.
I love that movie.
These are your bigs.
I love that movie so much. So
tell her you miss her whispering eye.
Tyson's actually from Huntington. So yeah, there's a few of them I still talk to.
Yeah, I was never. I didn't go to college, so I don't have that college experience. So did this bring any flashbacks for you or anything?
I mean, it was interesting when they talked about like the sorority mom and her house, how she lived like next door. Because the sorority moms were a very real thing. Like you were not allowed in their houses past a certain hour.
Yeah.
I can only think of one house that had the mom that was like always there. And that was Sigma Epsilon, maybe. But I was trying to remember like some of the Greek letters on some of the houses, and there was like I think Kappa Delta Epsilon was one of the houses. There was another one too, but I couldn't figure it out.
Lambda, lambda, lambda,
Lambda, lambda, lambda,
and Omega Moose. I went to that college.
But the opening scene, just like the opening scene, really threw me for a loop. I didn't know what like I didn't expect that, because this movie has it all. It has aliens, it has zombies, it has brain-eating slugs. Like it has everything you need in one
It has
movie.
dog puppets,
faceless kittens, and the little butt of the alien running through the ship, just like, what the fuck? I did not expect that at all.
Now, it was funny that you mentioned the the sorority mom and the beginning there, because whenever they're in the room and that girl's on the phone, you hear her mention that, she left Ray because he's becoming a cop and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about that, his main squeeze that gets hacked up. But she mentions a movie. It's very faint when she mentions it, but she mentions, God, what is that movie? Oh, God. Whatever movie she mentions, the sorority mom is also watching.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that at all.
It's something... It has a 9 in outer space in it, I think. But I'm an idiot right now.
Oh, man.
I didn't write it down. I knew it. I didn't write it down. But yeah, the director actually wanted to do the whole movie in black and white.
I did read Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah, that's it.
I got you. Plan 9 from Outer Space. And so yeah, so it was the alien scene was in color, wasn't it? When they're on the spaceship, that was in color, and then it drops to black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not expect any of that shit. I was really confused. And we get to that black and white scene, and black and white can really like enhance some viewing experiences. Like it can really like make it more, I don't know, throwback, I guess. I don't give a shit for black and white, but it was a cool way. The way they did it was pretty cool. And you have knocking on or like throwing the rocks at the window. I really liked how that they tied that in the future as well. I thought that was a great move on their part. And introducing the young version of Tom Atkins' character.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he just pales in comparison to Tom Atkins. Right.
I was like, that doesn't, I don't know. I was even trying to like justify the 27-year difference there. It just didn't, I don't understand how you could grow into Tom Atkins from that little nerd boy.
Yeah, well, back then, it didn't matter.
Very true.
This was the 1980s. They're like, he was, that was him young. Don't worry about it.
Right. It just, there was a couple things that they did like that kind of like, I feel like I almost lost the point. Like there was that, and then when it comes to how the body came out, I was confused as to, okay, was this the boyfriend who went off to pee, or was this the secret visitor that escaped from up the road?
Yeah.
And I mean, later all the pieces fall into place.
Yeah.
But I was really confused.
This was actually, admittedly, he admitted it like in a couple interviews. One of it's like the movie Tom Atkins was in. It's his favorite. I worded that very strangely. It's one of Tom Atkins' favorite acting roles in a movie. Yeah, he said that he loved working with this director and stuff like that, and he would do it again in a heartbeat.
That's cool. I didn't catch that. I didn't see anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, also looking at his IMDb, he doesn't have nearly as much as I thought he did.
Yeah, he's no Danny Trejo.
Who? Yeah, that's a very good
Yeah,
point.
I think he has the most parts in any movie on IMDb right now. I think he is the ranking king.
I think I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the black and white portion of it, like, yeah, it threw me for a loop. I didn't expect that at all. You get introduced to uh Tom Atkins' character. You get introduced to the love interest and all of that. They stop to explore. They go to hunt the asteroid. Very Killer Clowns from Outer Space kind of moment where they're like, "Let's go find it,"
Because
and
they're
then
at
he
that
sneaks
point,
off.
and it's like, oh hey, let's go see. We saw something fall from space. Let's go check it out.
Right.
Go
So
check
it
it out.
definitely reminded me of that, like, Killer Clowns from Outer Space
Yeah.
kind of feeling to it, but not as good. And once, like, you see the you don't know exactly what it is, but flies into his mouth, and then the woman gives like the Johnny, like the quietest scream whisper of all time, and she's dead. And you
Well,
find out
he
that the
found some of her
world,
in the car, some of her in the road.
so yeah, and
That's
then
what
you
he
find out
says.
that the world went color in the 80s. Everything was black and white up until like 1986.
Didn't you know that?
Duh.
My grandma tells me stories all the time about how everything was black and white.
But once it goes to color and you get reintroduced to the campus and everything like as it starts to unfold, it turns out to be a really solid movie. So I did enjoy it. I did think it was good. It's not the best movie I've ever seen for what it was.
But it's no
EA
Dr. Giggles.
Horror. I still like Mr. Giggles better. EA Horror had said that she had started to watch it and turned it off and wanted to get back into it. So I was really confused. It's like, am I about to watch like a steaming pile of dog shit?
I'm curious at what point she was like, no. Was it like there's a
I
couple
think
minutes in when it
just,
was like black and white? You're like, no.
I think it was just something came up. I don't think it was
Yeah.
like I hate this, turning it off. I think it was just like something came up, so she had to set it aside. I don't know. She mentioned it in one of her unboxing videos.
I really enjoyed the relationship between Chris and JC.
Yeah.
They seemed like they were genuine friends.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's break this down a little bit. I agree completely. I think they were genuine friends. I'm terrible at character names, so let's make sure I get this right.
JC was handicapped. Chris was the lead.
JC was the confident one. Like, he was the one that was like, you can do this. I'm gonna have your back. He was the best wingman of all time.
I shit you not. Comment I made to Chesley. I was like, you know what?
True.
He's a great wingman. It's not like he walked over there and was like, you want to go do this? He's like, listen, me legs no work, but this guy over here, his does.
Like, that self-deprecating, like, he was great. But their friendship, right? Like, when they get back to their dorm room and they're sitting there talking and he's really trying to build them up and like arguing a little bit, and then in the recording that he leaves for him and he says, I love you. I think that there was a true love connection there.
Yeah.
But with it being,
you're talking about familiar love, not romantic love.
I'm talking romantic love.
So you think JC was
I
in
think
love.
that JC who really loved Chris. I think that it was a real love. And I think that him trying to get him hooked up with Cynthia was like, I'm going to do this for you because I care about you. But it wasn't easy on him. Like, it was something that's going to be difficult for him to do because he would have to let go of that dream of their love turning into something.
That's a take.
That's my take on it, man. That's my take.
I never looked at it like that because I never thought about it. Like, I thought they were,
It was
it's like
literally
like, didn't you ever notice? No, I just thought he had a best friend. That's it.
Right. I'm Googling it now. If I'm the only person that's ever thought this before, I'm gonna just turn off my camera and.
Well, I'm sure some people probably looked at that and be like, "That dude's gay."
Night of the Creeps, JC. I should not Google stuff like this.
No. Just go in incognito is what you need to do.
It's. Oh, dude.
So you weren't the only one?
May 8th, 2023, on bloodydisgusting.com, a reading of JC as the gay best friend in Night of the Creeps from Horror Queers podcast. Let's see. Let's see. Join us as we discuss the film's botched release before we go all in on the queer reading of JC as the film's gay best friend. I'd probably have to listen to the podcast to fully understand where they're going with it, but
I'm not saying that every gay person gives off a vibe or something, but I just never picked it up, and I guess I don't know. You did apparently.
I did. I did. Like, and there's a few other things out there. Not sure why, out of all the possible sexual orientations, they assign homosexuality to a character who frequently explicitly states how sexually attractive he is to certain characters. Oh, that's somebody defending it. So this person here is calling me stupid, basically.
Oh, okay.
But no, that was my take on it. They had a great friendship, and it broke his heart to crutch away to leave him with Cynthia, who has the most annoying voice in movie history, so they could get their spank on.
Chesley asked, because there's, oh my god, the stupid fucking computer.
I still see you. You're still here.
Yeah, I just gotta get the screen up and running. If I don't, I put the thing to where it never is supposed to. It's never supposed to do that, like do the screensaver thing. But everyone,
yeah,
if I don't just give it a little rubbing, apparently.
Give it a little rubbing.
But there's the scene near the beginning where she's changing, where it's her first nude scene. You get to see boobies. There's them getting ready for the formal, or whatever it's called. And Chesley looked up because, I talk about, as soon as I see boobies in my heart, I'm like, boobies. And apparently it's out loud. So she wanted to know, she's like, why is everyone's boobs in the 80s pointy? I was like, listen, I don't know.
That is
Maybe it's a casting thing. Maybe they're like, listen, we can't have rounded boobs. We got to have pointed boobs, guys. And I told her, it's just the bras they wore. That's the way they formed them.
Imagine being a girl who is like, I was supposed to be in Night of the Creeps. My boobs were round.
Yeah. I had large areolas in there. Like, I'm out.
Areolas. It's one of my favorite words. Hairy areola.
But back to JC. If you didn't know, which I'm sure you did, he was not in fact handicapped.
I assumed.
Yeah. In a few interviews, Decker has been asked, like, why did you make JC handicapped? Like, it's never brought up. Like, it's never like, the only time he faces that handicappedness is when it's in the recording and he speaks of, I walked. I actually had, was able to walk without the crutches.
Mm-hmm.
Which, a note on that, JC is the only thing to speak after being zombified.
That's true.
He's the only one that fully knows. He's like, I don't have a heartbeat. I'm basically not alive anymore. And he walked and stuff because those things are making him walk. And he consciously went down into the boiler room to die, and then for them to die when they burst forth. So, but after they asked him, he would tell them, after they would ask why he decided to make JC handicapped, is that he wanted to put somebody that was handicapped in a movie and not make it about him being handicapped.
I respect that.
Yeah, he's handicapped, but no one's ever like, willy legs no Philly anymore.
I love it.
If you've never seen the little memes with Peter Dinklage talking to Bran at the end of Game of Thrones, it's hilarious.
That's amazing.
He's like, don't call me king or whatever. He's like, how about Mr. Willy legs no Feely?
Oh God.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting that, they're just like, yeah, he's handicapped. Don't worry about it.
Huh, that is interesting.
Something that's just never brought up and talked about. He the bully, of course, trips him, and that's what pushes
The Bradster.
Cynthia over to hang
the
out
awaiting
with
arms.
Chris and JC. But the guy who played Chris, Jason Lively, in the interview on the like special edition and stuff like that, he talked about the guy who played Brad. He's like, I don't know if he's like a method actor or what up, but everybody would do their character and then they would hang out and talk and have a good time after. He's like, the guy who played Brad was such an asshole and dick to him and the guy that played JC. And he's like, we're best friends. We're friends now. He's like, yeah, we're friendly to each other. We like each other. He's like, he's a good guy. He's like, I don't know if he was a method actor or what, but he was so just an asshole whenever, they were filming and stuff. And I was like, wow, I guess it's just like I couldn't imagine working with Sacha Baron Conan. He is very method. He like gets into that role and he stays in that role.
That's and you hear about that a lot with some of these movies, some of these actors and stuff. Just like I hated him, I thought he hated me, and it's just like, nope, they were just in the role. I responded to Chesley, and when I did it on your channel, it said that I was you. So that was me. Yeah. So I always wonder about stuff like that. Like I can't think of who it was that I read an interview on. A really big name that does that and gets that deep into it that he'll just be a dick.
Yeah. There's a few, like you said, like there's a few people that get really into the role. And Chesley has a really bad sinus infection. Like she's got a lot of fluid build up in her ears and everything else. And she's had it for like 2 weeks.
Gross.
But I don't hear her coughing at all. Do you guys hear her coughing? Do you hear her coughing?
I heard a little bit, but it wasn't bad by any stretch.
No. Well, I can send her outside.
That's what I did with Cujo.
I make her sit on the porch.
She's fine.
All right.
The best thing was the introduction to Tom Atkins. Like when he gets introduced, like I'm really pissed because like here he is being cool as fuck, hanging out in his apartment or his house. Shit hits the fan on campus. Phone rings. Thrill me. And he like, is this whoever? And he's like, well, it's not Bozo the Clown. So
he's such a cool guy.
He dropped 2. It's not Bozo the Clown. I'm not Bullwinkle Moose. And I like left room in my notes to write down every time that he said something like that. And those are the only 2 that he did. And I was really, really bummed. But I did do a thrill me count. So I have that for you.
Oh, I did not. I didn't think about that. You're on top of it.
Yes.
Because I went to do the kill count and the numbers just boggled me because I didn't count them. Whenever it's like a big number like that and you do the zombie stuff, I'll look it up and go to a few different places. The count's rough. It's not accurate, and they have kill and change. So it's like they got changed, but then they got killed. So they count on them twice. But I have in my notes, and I'll say this so I can get to the next page of notes. This is the first time I've had 2 pages. Greg Nicotero was one of the zombie extras. Just letting you know.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. That's cool. That dude, man, he's everywhere. But I guess pointing out like what happens that they call. Why do I keep forgetting his name? Detective Ray, is that right?
Detective Cameron, Ray Cameron, yeah.
Ray. Okay. So they meet Cynthia. They love Cynthia. They want to marry Cynthia. And they decide the only way to get her to love them is to be in a fraternity. Been there. I get that feeling. I understand wanting to be loved, so you join a fraternity. I get it. And the Bradster's all like, yo, you got to steal a body and put it on the Delta Tau Delta house. Probably not the right fraternity, but that's the house in college that I would have put a dead body on. So we're going with Delta Tau Delta. What the actual F? Like, this is taking like fraternity pranks to a whole new level. And when they go to the basement to get the body, there's like toxic waste containers in the basement.
Oh yeah, and just how he just left was like one number away from opening when he was dialing. He was like, okay. Let me go answer the phone. You're like, what are you doing?
He went to make a phone call, but like, did he forget
Yeah.
what the last number was? Is that what happened?
I think he was he's. I have no idea. Maybe he
I
had
couldn't
something
figure
on
out
his
what he
mind.
was calling for.
Because it goes back and forth to them talking. We also have a coroner/morgue worker eating all the time.
Was he eating?
Yes, multiple times.
Damn.
The director wanted to add as many B movie cliches as he could. So he stuck them in there where he could, and to make sure they went through, he insisted on directing it himself. So that's the reason it's Fred Decker's first go at it.
See, I tried to keep an eye on if he was eating or not, and I didn't catch him eating, but I was watching.
Oh yeah, whenever they first find the guy that is frozen in the basement on the doorsteps, when he flips that cover back, he's leaning back on those steps and he's eating.
Okay, yeah.
No,
that's true.
And then he's eating whenever you see him in the morgue when the scientist sits up and leaves the room and leaves him standing there with his back to him.
And everybody's smoking.
Oh yeah,
smoking on the crime scene, smoking in the buildings, like just smoking everywhere.
Yeah, I forget what year. It was sometime in the 90s when they stopped allowing heroes to smoke. Villains are the only ones that smoked.
Can you imagine the Marvel universe if like Captain America's just like motorcycling down, just huffing on a Marlboro? Shit,
Because he was.
He would have been cool as F. Would have sold like 50 more tickets.
There's a movie called I think it's Thanks for Smoking.
Yeah.
Or Thanks for Not Smoking. I can't remember which way.
I think it's Thanks for Smoking.
Yeah. And it's a dude that works in the tobacco what is firearms, tobacco.
Oh, ATF. Alcohol, tobacco, firearms.
Yeah, it's those heads. And they call themselves the death something. And they meet and they always have fun talking and drinking and smoking. But it just goes through the steps of like, how he would go and have meetings with movie theaters and how they want to put this tobacco company's wanting to pay for a movie, like donate give a whole bunch of money to like a movie studio because they want their cigarette in the movie, because they know if Keanu Reeves is floating through space or Johnny Depp is floating through space smoking that brand cigarette, kids are going to see it and be like, I want to be cool like Johnny Depp, or I want to be cool like Keanu Reeves. So I thought it was an interesting movie. I've watched it. I haven't watched it in probably 16 years.
I can't remember if I watched that one.
I know the dude that's in it reminds me of Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
He's not Thomas Jane. He looks like Thomas Jane.
I know. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but I can't remember.
Yeah. But anyway, back on track to the movie.
So when they find the frozen body, like I was expecting more Walt Disney jokes, or like because you have that like theory that Walt Disney is still frozen.
And he's a Nazi.
But
don't forget he's a Nazi.
Did they ever give a reason as to why they froze this dude's body?
No, they just found him and they just popped him in a freezer.
So this is where I was like, did I miss something? Like, which person is this?
Yeah.
And luckily, once he gets thawed out, he picks up where he left off and he wanders back to campus in his nice pale blue masculine form. And he starts throwing rocks at the window. And you realize he's looking for his long lost date. But instead of his date, he finds Cindy with the most annoying voice ever. And because of her voice, his head explodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it never speaks about why he's frozen. But you find out that, yeah, it's the boyfriend, the date that was frozen. And then he actually tracked down the axe-wielding, the hash-slinging slasher and blasted him with his shotgun. And then buried him. And apparently they built the sorority mom's house.
Yeah.
Over where he buried him.
So very, very shallow foundation on that house.
Yeah.
When dude's head explodes and all the creepy crawlies go everywhere, didn't catch how the body ends up on the front porch or how he became decapitated.
His head was the split. And that's just what the worms do. And then what I'm figuring is she was on the second floor. Like she was up on the another floor. So I'm saying probably when his head popped, they just dropped straight down. Maybe her room is over the entrance.
It must have been. Did you?
I heard a dog bark.
Thought I heard yelling.
Oh, I just heard you. I thought I heard a dog bark.
Oh yeah, Penelope barked. I have 2 other dogs.
Okay.
Cuja's is the only one I love. So, all right. So everyone's there to figure out this crime scene. They have the head that's ripped open. No one is calling out the slugs. So the slugs are still something that we know about. Cindy knows about. Cynthia, Cindy, whatever. And the other fraternity assumes that that it was JC and Chris who staged this all. Like things are really starting to unravel. And you're starting to see all these other subplots, and you're starting to see, like, with the introduction of Tom Adkins, you start to see like where the history is connecting to the present. And I thought that was really cool. Like they brought everything together in a really interesting way. Because when I watch movies, that's like the one thing I'm always looking for is, okay, how are you tying this all together? Because you're gonna fuck something up and it's gonna piss me off. But they did a really good job of tying it all together.
And it all happens fairly quickly. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's a long movie, like it's dragged out.
Yeah.
There is. They talked about there is a few like drag points, and that taught Decker, the director, he actually started to keep a stopwatch in his pocket whenever he would do scenes, so he can keep track of the time and stuff like that, and like the proper pacing is how he worded it. So, and on a special edition with Jason Lively, he actually didn't want the role of Chris. He wanted to be JC.
Okay.
Like he auditioned for JC because he was like, with the character being handicapped, it was giving me an opportunity to play a role and challenge myself to be like, okay, how can I pull this off? Basically,
that's fair. It's interesting to see stuff like that and like to hear about how it tried to keep the pacing going. I think he did a good job of it because there's a couple spots that drag out, but overall, I think it pulled together really well.
Boom, boom, boom. You're like, okay, cool. Next thing, next day, and you're like, and it's done. That's a wrap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely. If you are still watching, to give your thoughts. There's only 4 of you still watching, but
I also want to say, like, Bradster being the vanity plate, I loved that. Made me happy. I have a vanity plate. It's room 217. No one's ever got it, cool. So I hate it. It makes me sad. Someday. I should have gotten room 237. So that was my main note, though, here. Like, I highlighted it. Is the killer the boyfriend or the axe killer? That was like where I was going to be confused. But I thought that as far as the fraternity goes, like they really nailed like the stereotypical fraternity guys, how they built those roles up from just being like them talking in the basement to about if JC and Chris were going to join to them picking on them outside of the class building and tripping them. Like all that stuff just fit. They did a really good job with that.
And they all looked very similar.
Right.
That's what was very good. It's like, they all come from the same background. You could totally tell because of how they looked. Like,
right.
Oh, yeah.
And the dorm rooms, though, were tiny. That was like one thing that really blew my mind. It's like their room was insanely small.
Yeah. JC and Chris's room, the spaceship, and 2 other sets were all built in this one small area.
Really? That makes sense.
Yeah. And those look like 2 futons that were just in chair mode, just right beside each other.
And then he's like, "Can I have my pillow?" There's another thing, another connection. Why did JC have his pillow?
It's because, it's one of those things. You're grasping at straws, Josh.
I'm grasping at pillows, and JC
Yeah.
was grasping at Chris's. I thought it was
I will
adorable.
I will give the kill count. Since we are getting
Are you gonna
close
do
to
it?
time. Well, it's I have 366 because they mixed in. I got this from a few places. They mixed in when the person got turned into a zombie and then killed as a zombie. And I don't put the dogs in there or animals, but they were very low numbers until you got to the explosion.
Yeah.
The
That was like,
explosion ramped it up to like 300 and stuff.
well, see, we are getting low on time. I 100%.
Yeah.
So what things do I really want to call out here? Let's trying to take a minute to think, like, what am I saying? So this is one that I really want to call out because I caught this and I was like, there's no way I'm right in this. And I read something later on that showed me that I was. We already know that the axe murder was buried under the teacher's house or the sorority mom's house.
Yeah.
He breaks through. Why the fuck was he buried with the axe? Whatever. We'll look past that.
I think it
Breaks
was
on
just
through.
he kills him and it's like anything he had with him, he wrapped up and tossed him in.
Yeah. Breaks on out, gets the woman, kills the hell out of her, and escapes the house. All the cops, they get there. And Tom Atkins shotguns him again, gets to kill him again and get that moment.
Yeah.
When Tom Atkins like shares his story with Chris, it was the most bizarre, like, why is this happening moment of the entire movie? Like, why did he decide to talk about like him gunning down the axe killer and give this full backstory to this random ass kid? And even he's just like, why are you telling me all of this? This is fucking weird. And after like Chris finds out that shit's still going down and he goes back to Ray's house to get him for help, you see that Ray kind of feels like he has come full circle in existence. Like he killed the axe guy twice.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his love, blah, 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 blah. He's got duct tape around the door frame and his oven open and gas running, and he's just hanging out on the couch waiting to die. And I was just like, is this really what I think is happening here? Like,
Yep.
At first it's like he doesn't know the slugs are a thing, so why has he got duct tape all over the door? Why is oven on? What is happening?
Didn't realize it's the 80s, baby. A lot of stuff was still gas.
Man, so he like goes and he gets the damn fire flamethrower. And I can't think of who the person was that worked in the weapons room, but that was a famous person. Like that was a good cameo.
Yeah, he's in God, tons of stuff. He was Chopping Mall. He was in Night of the Demons. I mean, not Night of the Demons. Demon Knight.
Suzanne Snyder was in this.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where she is.
Huh.
Because I've missed it. Because I had a chance to meet her at the same time I met Tom Atkins. I was like, oh damn it! I was like, I should have brought that fucking poster that I got sent to me, and I could have went and got it signed.
It's the person I'm talking about that worked in the gun room was Dick Miller.
Yeah, he passed away not too long ago.
Did he? Dude, he was in so much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dick Miller. 2019.
The whole, let's see, what else we got here? And the Small Soldiers, like he was in a lot of shit. Anyway,
Piranha, Evil Tunes. Yeah.
The fact that in the end he was able to bring his like death by fire to life and kill himself in the basement to kill all the zombies and shit, and then comes out smoking a cigarette, just like the badass that he is, made me happy.
Yeah, because I totally forgot that he dies at the end.
He does. Sadly,
it breaks my heart.
So the thrill me count, I was really sad. I was expecting to be a lot better. I was expecting to be a higher number, but you get, I'm gonna say 5.5 because you get 5 true thrill me's from Tom Atkins himself, and then you get one from Chris at the end.
So he rubbed off on him.
Yeah, he did, right in his eye. And then I'll do this one for you. You ready?
Yeah. Wow. So the Rotten Tomato score for Night of the Creeps, the tomato meter score was 76%. And then the audience score was 70. So they are only like 6% difference. And I think that's a little low, honestly.
Why is that?
I think it should at least should be like an 80. It's a good. It knows what it is. It knows it's a campy B movie, and things are done good in it.
I think
they're not great. I mean, we're not. They're not breaking new grounds with stuff, but they're having a good time. It was a fun movie. It's a fun little movie to watch and show somebody, and I'm just glad it was voted for.
Did you catch when you were looking over the notes and the things about it that when it was released in some cities, Cincinnati, Ohio, and other cities, the movie was released as homecoming night?
No.
I don't know why. It doesn't go into detail as to why. But Night of the Creeps was released on August 22nd, 1986 in the United States. In the Philippines, the film was released in 1987 with free protector stickers handed out for early moviegoers to put on during the screening. But yeah, in Cincinnati, Ohio, and other cities, the movie was released as homecoming night.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, this is a question specifically for you. Shout Factory. Was it ever known as Scream Factory?
Yeah.
I was walking by a table today at a flea market.
Right here on the bottom. Shout Factory is where I got this from.
Yeah.
But on the very bottom, that says Scream Factory.
Okay. I was walking by a table at a flea market today.
Is the daddy company, and Scream Factory does the horror.
Okay.
But it's all Shout Factory.
There was at the flea market. That's the point that I want to make here. At the flea market, there was a table that had a bunch of the Shout Factory posters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one figure, but I don't remember what one it was. Nothing that caught my eye. And I was like, oh, Scream Factory stuff. And the guy was like, it's Shout Factory. And I was just like, oh, it does say Shout Factory on the label. So I guess I just messed up. Sorry, bro.
You should be like, oh, that's my money in my pocket. Fuck you.
Right. I'm like, what am I going to do with a bunch of posters anyway?
Yeah, a lot of them are really nice. They're like,
they are. I'm just trying to be a jerk. I was trying to be tough.
I have tons of them. But you're right. If it's done with horror, a lot of times it's labeled Scream Factory because that is like the horror branch of Shout Factory. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those where all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs type of situation.
So something I want to point out, and you may have noticed it if you're watching, is we're trying to adjust the format of this a little bit. I think we said it at the beginning of the month when we talked about it. Instead of doing a play-by-play, we want to do more conversation about what was Chuck's favorite parts, what was my favorite parts, what are your favorite parts, all that happy horse shit, and really just have a great conversation about it. So we might not go from start to finish on the movie. I feel that that's an easy way to get into it and get the things moving. So you'll catch me stuck on the start to finish chronological order, but we want to make sure that we jump around, that we have fun with it, and we encourage everyone that's here to watch to join in on the conversation.
Oh yeah, that's
what we want. Keep that in mind.
It's like we can only do this with you.
It's true.
We can make horror great again.
Oh man. Oh. I love it. I love it.
Chuck 2024.
I love it. So before we go, this is something that I want to do, and I haven't told Chuck about it, so he might be like, don't do that ever again. Chuck, do you have any like shout outs you want to give? Like, you buy anything cool lately? Like, is there anything that you want to?
No. I try to make a video of everything I buy or anything cool like that for content because I ain't got that much crap coming in here lately. So
yeah,
that's about it. Do you got anything cool going on?
I want to give this is me kind of returning a shout out, I would say.
Well,
There's a
Logan, that
podcast.
Logan. Sorry, that
Yeah,
Logan
no,
guy.
go. Yeah.
That Logan that sent me that that package that had like the VHSs and stuff in it. I
Yeah,
did
that
the
was
video
cool.
for it, but very awesome. I deeply appreciate it. If anybody wants to send me more shit, I'm down. I ain't mad at it.
And I gotta get stuff sent to you. I have some VHSs for you. I have your pop. I gotta get that stuff in the mail.
I've got a box here that's got stuff for you. So
yeah, so I wanted to give a little shout out to the Doobies and Scary Movies podcast. They are a couple dudes from my area that are running the Cleveland Horror Club. They're building out a convention right now. They have every actor, every celebrity that's coming in for it locked in place. They've announced a good amount of them so far. I made a video talking about who's going to be there. It's not until next August, but if you are a fan of the Trauma universe, you're going to want to come out to this. So that is the Doobies and Scary Movies podcast. And they are also on social media under the Cleveland Horror Club. So you can find them in either of those places.
Yeah, hopefully the remake will be out by the time that happens. With old Peter Dinklage and stuff in it.
I cannot believe Dinklage is going to be in that movie. That blows my mind in a good way. That's great.
Who's he going to be? Yeah.
He's going to be the broom or the mop. That's mean.
Which you could watch that movie right now on Tubi for free.
See, I just think the lineup that they have for it is really cool. They have a couple like first time appearances. But I know I've seen that movie, seen Toxic Avenger, but it's been a long time. And I think that's the only Trauma movie I've ever watched.
You've probably seen one and didn't know.
Yeah.
They've done a lot, and some of it is not some of it. 90% of it is not good.
I felt so bad because I got Lloyd Kaufman, is that his name?
Yeah.
I got his autograph at Horror Hound for some dude that I shouldn't have got anything for anyway. But he signed it, He signed it and like smeared it immediately. And then whatever marker was used, it just like dripped off of the autograph. And I felt so bad because I was trying to hook a friend up and it turned out so shitty. And now I'm glad that it did. But
yeah,
it's just like my only story is Lloyd Kaufman handing me this autograph back, like, sorry about that, and then turning to help the next person.
Okay. If you want me to redo it, I will totally take another $40.
He signed for free. He signed it.
Really?
I bought the figure and he signed it for free. Yeah.
Because I forget his name. It's the guy that played Slim in Killer Clowns. I don't know if he was there, but I don't know if you had a chance to meet him.
I don't think I did. No.
I got him to sign that $100-some Funko, and I brought a pen. The pen didn't work right, and it was real like crappy, and you couldn't see it. Man, I paced back and forth. I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow, I was like, I don't care how much it costs. I'm just gonna get him to re-sign it. So I went to him. I was like, hey, if you have a better pink, I've seen you use it. Is there any way you can just re-sign it for me? I've told this story in my Mad Monster recap video, but he was like, yeah, no problem. I was like, okay, well, how much? He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, he basically just signed right over what he signed. He traced it. And I was like, that looks so much better. I'm happy with it. And then the Killer Clowns, that whole group was just
the
nicest.
Nice group. The nicest. Even the guy who played Rudy on that one that you sent me, like he signed it twice.
Yeah.
What, Rudy, is that right?
God, what is his name? Yes. Rudy is the clown's name.
I actually just got in today from Macari. I didn't do an unboxing on it for whatever reason, but I got the 3-pack of Killer Clowns Funkos, the Jumbo, Shorty, and Spiky.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, that's like one of the regrets I have about Creature Feature Weekend is I did not load up on their autographs. But now I have that canvas painting, and I have the ice cream truck, the Handmade by Robots ice cream truck. And that ice cream truck is huge. There's so much window space. I think I'm just gonna get any next opportunity I have. I think I'm just gonna have any of them sign all over that ice cream truck.
Oh yeah, that would look really good.
They're just so nice. Like it's such a nice group of people.
I hate that I didn't get them to sign anything from Critters.
Mm.
So that is my next voyeur is whenever they come, if I get a chance to meet them again, and D. Wallace and a few others, I want to get Critters because I got something from the Howling from D. Wallace. I got something from Cujo from D. Wallace, stuff like that. But I want to do like a Critters poster or something. And they sell, and the brothers sell their original art. They're like the art they used to like create some of the things that were in Critters and in Killer Clowns from Outer Space and stuff like that. It's just on their table. You can look through the book, and they sell the actual. This is ours. You can buy it, and it's not expensive stuff. It's like $40-$50 for their original stuff.
So they did Critters 1. Do you remember who did Critters 2?
They did Critters 2 too. All three.
Did
they? They worked on the special effects for all three, and they talk about how it was miserable working some of the puppets, but it was they talk about the evolution of them, and like the first ones they couldn't get to work quite like they wanted to. The second ones were better. The third ones were better. And I'm guessing they worked on Critters 4 because they shot 3 and 4 back to back.
I didn't even realize there were 4.
Oh,
see, I didn't know. Garrus got the chance to direct after having worked for Steven Spielberg on Amazing Stories. Garrus turned on. See, I knew that. I thought they stepped out of it.
We're just talking now. We're done with Night of the Creeps. So
pretty much, yeah. I thought Mick Garris was the one who did all of that. I thought the Chiodo brothers stepped away from it and he did it.
Yeah, no. The brothers did it, and I don't know if I want to say this on a live.
You don't have to if you want to. You should.
Yeah, I don't want to start any unnecessary drama. But whenever
does it rhyme with Hinda Hair Hunko Hop?
No. That was a good one. It's about a company that went live and may not be around in the next 6 to 7 months. They posted.
I mean, off by discussion. I'm confused.
Well, there was a company that we talked about not too long ago. They're almost closing their doors after 8 years.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
When they put up their numbers of like, we're showing you how much these autographs actually cost, and like how much I guess they're charged per autograph or something like that. And when they showed the Chiodo brothers, I'm like, that's not right. I'm like, no, they may 100% have been charged that by them per autograph. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying, you're just inflating the numbers to be like, we're doing it for you guys type of thing.
Yeah.
I love the company. I will be there through their whole run. So, it's bear with me on that, but I think it was like, it was $50. It's $50 for all three brothers.
Yeah.
That's what they charged me at ours. That's what they charged you at yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I've seen it, it's $50. And for them to have that quote, I'm like, that seems like a pretty big inflation there. And I can understand you got that, and they might have been saying, hey, this is what it cost us to get it signed and then authenticated. That might have been how it is, and that's my way why the numbers may have been different. But I just wanted to say that.
You told me that, and I felt the same. Like, it's especially when you're buying in bulk. Like a lot of times when you do these arrangements with somebody, I mean, I only did one, so I'm not talking like I know what I'm saying. So if anybody hears this and like Josh is stupid, doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm admitting that. I only did one bulk buy of autographs, and that was with Felissa Rose.
Wasn't it like some kind of like horrible company you used to work for?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. It was with Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan.
Yeah.
And it was, they agreed on a certain amount of pieces, but they didn't count them or anything. I know I got at least 2 extra, whatever. But it was, here's your money. start signing, and the way they whip through everything is insane. But my assumption is with mystery box companies in general, it's a bulk price. Like, hey, I need this many, so instead of your $50 per, we're gonna pay you what's gonna come down to like $30 per or $20 per. And
Which
since
is
it's a
still a
bulk,
massive amount of money if you're buying,
right?
because
Exactly.
this company is doing numbers in the thousands.
Exactly. And what that company is doing is great. What they were doing with their items, it
Yeah.
was awesome for the price point that you were paying. It sucks because you're under such a radar when you're doing mystery boxes and when you're doing stuff like that, because no matter how hard you try, there's always going to be somebody that hates you for it. There's always going to be somebody who picks out one thing they didn't like about it and drags you. So in the end, you're usually not even your customer. Usually it's people who see your customer opening things are your worst enemy, because they're making you seem like you're overcharging or like it's a ripoff. And I can go on about this forever, but the company who's closing their doors, it's a bummer because that was a really good opportunity for fans.
Yeah, it's for. I mean, they were doing it for the fans that can't go to these conventions
Right.
and can't get out there and do these things. And a lot of people talked about that of like, well, this is how I got into autographs.
Yep. Absolutely.
And there are two companies out there right now that are feeding us two affordable boxes that come with great items. Some months you're like,
Absolutely.
and you're like, I'm just gonna take this one on the chin. Like, I will express that it's not the greatest, but I'm happy with this part of it. Maybe not this, but and they make up some months. You're like, you get this one month, you're like, oh fuck yeah. Like, some people may get this and be like, who even is this? Why do I care? For me, that loves Night of the Creeps, this is awesome. This is a very cool
after
piece.
seeing the movie, and it's encouraging you to watch the movie. If you don't know who it is,
Yeah.
I got a mystery box from CSR once, and I opened it, and I was like, I don't know if I care about this. I don't know if this was a good box. Like, this piece, it's actually the Chaney Morrow mask right above my hand.
Right there.
I was like, cool, whatever. And afterwards, I watched Haunt, and I was like, holy shit, this was a great box. Like, this box was awesome.
That's whenever we first started becoming amigos.
Yeah,
because you asked, you were like, "Well," I was like, "Dude, do it. Watch Haunt." I was like, "It's a good movie." I was like, "I'm gonna show Chesley here in the next couple of days." I mean,
I ended up having to do like a follow-up video of like, I just watched Haunt, and this mask is great. I am so happy that I got it from this box. But that's what I love about it, man. Like, that's some of the fun, like the most fun about it is you get the weird themes to it that encourage you to watch a movie.
Yeah, but what I said earlier, might have seemed like a bad thing, but I am truly like, it does suck that they're closing up shop, because that just leaves us with one option, and hopefully that one option keeps going. See, she said she really enjoyed Haunt.
It was a good movie.
So some movies I show her she really enjoys.
No, that was a good one.
I just hope the company that's going to be left is going to keep going forward in a strong direction that they have been. These past two, they've done a really good job.
Because they have an opportunity to drop the ball and be like, where are you going to go?
Oh, yeah. Or be like, you know what? We're the only ones kind of left in the game.
Exactly.
And we're going to raise our prices a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. What did you think of, and if you don't want to answer this, because I know your video just dropped today, you don't have to, but what did you think of the item you got? I don't even know how to word this. The first item you took out of the box.
Yeah, you watched the video, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
And I mean, so, okay, I had an initial reaction, and then I had an after the unboxing reaction. I don't know if you ever have that. A lot of times when I do unboxings, I have like my initial, and then afterwards I'm like, it sinks in.
Oh no, we've talked about it. I've had my like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or oh, I should have said that.
Right.
Like, I wish I could go back and be like, no. Matter of fact, these boxes are bullshit.
Right.
But yeah, everybody has that reaction. When I opened it, I was like, oh man, because at first it looked weird. I was like, I ain't gonna be able to fit in that. And then I saw it. I'm like, well, it's interesting. I was like, it's different. It's something that they usually don't do. In my video, I spoke of like if they want to do that once or twice a year,
Yeah.
like changing it up like that. But they've given us such a norm in sending us T-shirts that changing it up like that, it could be polarizing to people that's what they want. They buy the box for the autograph, for the shirt. That's it. They don't care about
That's
the
what I
pin.
thought when I
They don't
saw
care about
it.
the art piece. They don't care about any of those things. They care about that shirt. They care about that autograph. And if you're not giving them that shirt, they're like, okay, why am I buying this and having 3 things I don't want? Which I'll use that bag. I'll use tote bags all the time for whenever I go to conventions to tote my shit around. I mean, it's a nice little. I've never seen, a Children of the Corn bag. There it is.
It's a weird size.
It is. It's. I mean, and it's as much as they're charging, like Target charging per bag.
Yeah.
When it comes to grocery shopping, I mean, tote bags aren't too bad. But
I
this is
really
the
liked
item
it.
anymore.
My afterthoughts on it were it's a weird size. And I never remember to take those bags with me anywhere. So I just gotta make sure I do, because like with Zompire we did a few, and that was I said the same thing you did. Like, don't make this an every box thing, because bags like this, I don't want to sound cocky or arrogant, but bags like that people don't want every month. When we did the ones that we did, I think we did it like 3 times and we spaced them out, but people were still like, you're doing this too much. Like, you shouldn't be putting these in every box. And it's like, we fucking weren't. Calm down,
like,
killer.
I love t-shirts. I love my shirts. I
don't know.
have
I can't imagine how many
so
shirts
many.
you have.
It's so many. Like, it is a problem. Like, there is an issue with space type of a problem. And like, I used to be very manageable and been like, this theme's coming up, I'm gonna wear this t-shirt, and then I'd go in there and be like, there it is, got it. Now it's like I spend 15 minutes being like, I knew I saw this fucking t-shirt somewhere, motherfucker, type of situation. So like this shirt is actually from Little Box of Horrors, which I miss very much. I only got like 3 or 4 of their boxes. They were such a fun company. It was like you could go for the $75 option or go up one. That's the first place I learned about LB3D design.
Nice.
Because they use them all the time. They would put like a bust. You could pick a bust or mask or both. And the box would come with a pin, a bunch of other fun stuff, a t-shirt, a bust from the theme that they have, and then a Trick or Treat Studios mask.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool. If you ever have a chance, if you've never seen any of the videos from Little Box of Horrors, then they became Faint of Heart creations, and then they just stopped. Like, I think the last Faint of Heart I did was the movie. It's what it's called in the UK, because me and Chesley did it together. They're the banned movies in the UK. Video Nasties.
Okay.
Yeah, it was that was the theme, was Video Nasties, and we got like a really cool figure that they built that's numbered, and they only did a very few and stuff like that. It was a very cool box company, a little pricey, but you got some cool stuff in it, and their pin boxes were very cool. They did a clamshell pin cover instead of it just being on like a little piece of plastic and cardboard. They did like a little clamshell that had the theme and stuff on it, and the back of it looked like the back of the DVD and stuff like that. It was very nice. I miss the company.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool. I don't think I ever saw those, so I'll have to look back and find it.
Anything else you want to add in? Because we're just bullshitting now.
I mean, I could go on for hours. I love the sound of my voice. But no, so I think it was a good movie. Night of the Creeps is a good movie. I was happy with it. I would say out of what we watched so far, I would put it at number 2. So it
goes Dr. Giggles, Night of the Creeps, Arachnophobia, Dead Alive.
Yep.
So here in 2 weeks, we're going to find out what you think of. We're actually into the millennium now. It's a new millennium.
We are. And It's 6:24. Is that when we're coming to do that one? I kind of just like panicked and guessed.
Yeah, it's that where I got the ticker going at the bottom.
Okay, cool. Oh wait, did you write one too? Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
had
that's
this.
what I said.
Yeah, I had this ready from.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see it.
At that one at the announcement. But next week, we will be doing the Beckley Pride event. It's like a Pride festival, and we'll be booked up that whole day.
Nice.
So I'm glad that it worked out to where we will be we'll be doing that event, and then the following weekend we can do the Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Make it happen. Thanks everybody for stopping by.
Yeah.
I know Colin was here.
Listen to our voices.
Was here.
Yeah.
We had a few others that didn't say hi in the comments, but we appreciate every single one of you. Dead Alive, Creeps,
yeah.
Arachnophobia,
and Dr. Giggles is trash. She says trash.
I just can't. Man, that's just so funny because usually, like, I don't know. That's just funny to me. Hey, I respect it.
She has a weird taste in movies. She said that she really wants us to do Rocky. The
Fortress.
That's you. She said she wants us to do Little Shop of Horrors.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, like that. That's our bonding movies. The movies that we can find that are somewhat musical in nature. Dude. And horror, like I said, Repo the Genic Opera.
Yeah.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, stuff like that.
Emily and I are going to see Moulin Rouge next month. And it's gonna be fucking epic. I am. It'll be fun. It'll be an experience.
I was thinking, have you ever watched a movie? It's one of Johnny Depp's early movies called Cry Baby.
I've never watched it. I know exactly what it is, but I've never watched it.
Because I said something to Chesley a long time ago. I said, "Oh yeah," because me and John were saying something. I said, "Yeah, hatchet face," and then we started talking, and she seemed confused. I was like, "Oh, you've never seen Cry Baby?" I figured she saw it because Chesley is not very into. She was sheltered, so she didn't watch a lot of movies, but she had seen movies that are musical in nature. You know, Grease, stuff like that. So that, in my mind, is a movie she would have saw. Yeah. And when she said she didn't see it, I was like, oh man, I looked for it on streaming. It wasn't anywhere. So time passed, and I just kind of forgot about it. Well, I was scrolling through Tubi through boredom, and I was like, holy shit, Crybaby is on Tubi.
Huh.
So today I made her watch it, and she was like, yeah, it was fun. She was like, I like how they just kind of, they over-exaggerated a lot of the 50s type of stuff. Yeah. And I was like, man, I watched this movie so much as a kid. Like, there's certain movies you remember that are key movies that you're like, man, I watched that every time it came on. Like, for Night of the Creeps, it was Space Camp. Warriors of Virtue was one of mine. Have you ever seen Warriors of Virtue?
I don't think so.
But I remember staying up at my grandma's, and every weekend she lived right above me, so I would go up there and stay, and I would sleep on the couch, and I was just able to get up and turn on TV. You know, classic Godzilla movies were on. You know, you had USA Up All Night with Gilbert Gottfried, and you had Monster Vision. So Night of the Creeps were running on these shows, and that was just one of the movies I remember seeing, and that really stayed with me, and stuff like that. The Charles Band, it's a movie called Shrunken Heads.
That sounds familiar.
It took me forever to actually find, because I was a kid when I seen it, but I remembered there was these 3 guys got killed, turned into shrunken heads, and they all had powers. One had a switchblade knife in his mouth. One had electric powers. I don't know about the other one. And they were like, you know what? We're gonna get fucking revenge for murder. Then I looked it up. Google's great because you can just put keywords in. They're like, you talking about this? You're like, fuck yeah, that's what I was talking about. But the movie's called Shrunken Heads, and it's just
that's what I tried to do with Fortress. Was Google bits and pieces, because all I remembered was like tunnel, trapped, Santa Claus mask. That's all I remember.
Australian.
And I ended up having to like tweet Darcy the Mail Girl from Joe Bob Briggs, and she retweeted it. And like 2 minutes after she retweeted it, somebody was like, Fortress,
Dude, that's really cool, though.
Raquel Welch.
That's somebody I would like to meet. Is Joe Bob.
He'd be cool to meet.
All right, well, we tried to keep it under time. We did, but then we didn't.
Yeah, deal with it.
We live on the edge. But we're going to get out of here.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Hit the like buttons, the thumbs up, all that happy horse shit. And until next time.
Share. Go around, share, whatever.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep horror classy.